Good evening and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting. This is August 3rd, 2017. I call the meeting to order. Would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And the purpose of tonight's meeting is to conduct interviews for the treasurer position. But we do have a few other quick items. First is the awarding of the bid for War Memorial Park stone work. This is an ongoing project. Every year or so, the park superintendent comes forward with more work that we're trying to get done. David, do you have a quick over?
Just a quick overview is that through CPC funds, the town meeting has already approved this project. We went out to bid, we received 2 responsive bids back. The base bid was, the base winning bid was from Ramco, so it's good to have a local vendor. Their base bid was $65,000 with a whole bunch of alternates as well. So it's well within what we've actually budgeted, which is fantastic. It'll give the forestry superintendent some flexibility to add some of the alts. So what I would ask is that after my review of the bid, is that Ramco is the most responsive bidder. They're the lowest price. I would ask the board to award the contract to Ramco and also allow the forestry superintendent to add whatever alt he is able to afford within the bid as well.
So moved.
Second. David, what was the amount that was awarded at?
It was $125,000 at town meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Remco did some work down in the park 2 years ago. Chris was overwhelmingly satisfied with the quality of work, and he actually did a lot of little extras for the town. Again, it's great to have an in-town business doing the work because they take a little extra pride and put a little extra work into it. So I have a motion, a second to award the bid. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So move.
Why'd you got Ramco food on there?
Remco stonework.
Stonework,
Yeah.
Ramco, I don't know if you've been up North Main Street the last couple of days, but I guess he's purchased that property out front there and
Yes.
that real mess up there, and we ought to send a letter of thanks for them cleaning up that property. Today, he really got in there. And I guess there's a demolition on the house. I guess the house is coming down. And I think you ought to have a little congratulations there, because out there, boy, that area looks much better. And the house hasn't down yet.
For those wondering what property we're talking about, if you're heading just into Brockton from West Bridgewater, it's on the right-hand side. It was a green cape, and it's been an eyesore for a number of years. And I know I've been working with Ramco for a number of years. He's been trying to purchase it to clean it up, and he did purchase it, and now he's finally getting the building taken down. So that's great news. And yeah, thank you.
I'd like to have a letter of thanks for him to
Okay.
clean that mess up, because it has been a mess.
That's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. The first candidate tonight is Scott Golder. We had 3 finalists. Gary withdrew his candidacy, so we will just have the 2 candidates tonight.
So what happened to Todd? He withdrew too, or there was 4 of them?
Yeah, he also withdrew.
Okay, so we had 2 withdrew, we got 2 coming forward. Hey,
Hi.
how are you? Good to see you.
See it? Want to see it?
Good evening, Scott. Welcome.
Thank you.
What we'll do is we'll give you a few minutes. You can introduce yourself and tell us why you feel you're ready and the best candidate for the position.
I'm Scott Golder. I've lived in West Bridgewater my whole life. I went to high school in Coyle Cassidy, and I went to college at BU. I graduated there in 2006. I worked at Trukey's. I ended up going to the cash office there. That's where I started getting a feel for this kind of job. In 2010, I started working here in the Treasurer Collector's office, and think I'm a good fit for the job because I've been here for a while. I know all the software as well as anybody, especially KVS. I've worked with John on a number of the treasurer side things, namely the state distributions, inputting interest, reconciling monthly on cash. And on the tax collector side, I've helped him since day one with the creation and collection of bills every 6 months. Collected the excise tax all year round, basically. And I'm very familiar with the water softwares too. They've got a new system. Kerry's needed. We've worked with her on that, and then I also upload all the bills onto MCC for the bill collection process, so the residents can pay online. I convert all those files over. That's a summary.
Thank you. Eldon, do you have any questions for Scott?
Well, yeah, Scott, so your interaction are mostly with the people and, on bills and things like that, so you're certainly familiar with the system, right?
Yes.
And I noticed that you made it in your remarks to us, your letter that you sent to us there.
Yep.
And your experience there, and of course, before that, you were with the Trucci Supermarket.
Yep.
And what did you actually do there?
I was there for 10 years. I started as just a bagger, and then after a few years, I was promoted to the front end supervisor, or assistant. So I managed all the people working up front. Then I was full-time for 3 or 4 years in the cash office, and there I would balance the daily books, do all the deposits there, and also do the schedule for the courtesy booth and order supplies and things like that.
How about banking experience there? Of course, you know how we invest our money, and of course, John before there, he was a whiz at that.
Right, yeah.
How do you, have you got any experience in that? I mean, I know you've worked very, very close with John for years on the thing, but because he had experience, what do you have as far as experience, as far as, money and getting the best for the buck? And he usually does get the best.
Yeah, that's where area I'm weakest. I didn't do a lot of work with him on investing. That was one of the things he kind of kept closer to the vest.
Okay.
I haven't worked with him on borrowing or anything, so I don't have any direct experience with it.
Okay, but that'll something will probably come with time anyhow, because
Yes, John said he would gladly mentor me in the areas that he hasn't had a chance to get to so far working together. He's assured me that he would be happy to mentor me in that.
Okay, and of course you have a computer experience and
Yes.
that area there.
Yep.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Anthony?
Yeah, so you mentioned borrowing and investing. Are there any other areas where you think you'll need assistance, where there'll be a learning curve?
Right away, I haven't done payroll. Maureen does that. I've used this is the same software as the tax title software through CDS, so I'm very familiar with the software, but I just haven't personally done it. But those are the two major areas.
Yep. If you were to get the job, how do you think the transition would go, leapfrogging other employees? Do you have any concerns with that dynamic?
I understand its concern. It's hard for me to see it as being a problem just because we've all gotten along so well. It's the same people that have been there since I started. They came to my wedding. I've known them for a long time. And she has pictures of my kids on the wall. So it's hard for me to envision it. I can see it, why it would be a problem. But I think that everyone would be accommodating and try to help me do my best.
Okay. Do you have a full grasp of the kind of more the assessing side of it, the Proposition 2.5, the levy limit?
Yeah, I understand that. Every year when we're creating the bills, we get the sheet with the levy on it, and we have to come up with the percentage increase and that. It's more of a accessory knowledge. I haven't dealt with all of it directly.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Scott, currently our delinquent bills are outsourced for excise taxes. Do you think that's something that could possibly be brought in-house? Or is there any justification or need for that?
It would be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Even just taking in the bills, like the main commitment in February is about 9,000 bills. So it's not a lot compared to a huge town, but that's a substantial figure. Just collecting it during when it's due is a multi-day process every day. It would be a lot of work.
As treasurer, you'll have an assistant treasurer under you. What do you feel the role of the assistant treasurer should be? Should she be able to, they be able to do any and all jobs that the people were doing?
Yes. She has 2 years at the treasurer's school already, so she only needs to go one more before she can get that licensing. And it is very important to be able to hand off some duties, and then if you're going to leave, vacation, whatever, you have to have confidence that they're going to be able to perform the same duties as you.
Okay. I don't know if John does a written evaluation or a performance evaluation each year of you, but if he did, hypothetically, what's he going to tell you that you need to work on?
Probably taking the initiative on some things. Sometimes I tend to hold back waiting for him to give me work when I could probably go get some of the more work on my own, especially on the treasurer's side. Some of the stuff I don't know, I haven't inquired. So I could probably be a little more outgoing in that regard.
Okay. What's he going to tell us that you do wonderful?
He loves my computer experience. It's probably the biggest thing. As I go too fast for him, often while working on stuff. But that's the biggest thing. And just the work with KVS, since we switched over to the enterprise version, I think I probably know it better than him, just because I do more daily work on it.
Right. All right. And you're confident you're going to you can get up to speed on the borrowing and lending?
Yes, I really think I am. I haven't gone to the treasurer's school yet, but I'd like to go this year if possible. And I'm very interested in it, and I definitely want to learn how to do it. And I just think even the basic schooling can go a long way. And then having John helping me out with questions is a big asset.
Very good. All right. I have no other questions. Any follow-up
I have
questions?
none of those.
David, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
And someone from the office will be talking to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Scott.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Jerry, she's not here yet, so I'll just wait a few minutes.
Okay. I'm going to take sorry.
Motion for a few-minute recess.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are back in session. And our second candidate, Regina. Regina, how do you say your last name?
Ismailova.
Yes. Regina's here for our interview. Regina, what we'll do is we'll start the interview with you telling us a little bit about yourself and why you think you're the best candidate for the position.
Sure. I have been with nonprofit industry for quite some time, number of years, and I'm really interested in this position because I believe that that's gonna help me to have more interaction with the public, which I currently don't have at my position. It's more back office type of a job, so I really hope that this position will really help me to become a face for the public and be helpful.
Great. Eldon?
Yeah, well, my questions around that thing is, what do you have experience as far as when collecting bills and that type of stuff there? which is, they do a lot of that in there.
Yes, I understand. Actually, I have a great experience. I used to work in the health center where we used to collect the payments from the patients, and I was overseeing the billing department. And currently, we're actually collecting co-pays from the elderlies for different services that our agency provides. So I do have extensive experience, and I do oversee the billing. So most of the hard cases come to my attention.
Okay. How about banking experience there, and what's that job involves a lot of, managing our money and getting the best for the buck,
Yes.
for the interest on that. What experience do you have in that, or do you have any experience in that?
So currently, I'm the point person for all the banking relationship. I'm interacting with the banks. We have several banks with different types of accounts and activities. We have checking accounts, business, savings accounts, money markets, and different types of loans. We actually have a line of credit account as well. So I'm the point person for all the banking relationships.
Okay, and if we do appoint you, when would you be available? Or you need to have notice to where you are now, and how long would it be before?
So I'm actually, I need to give a 2 weeks notice at my current company, but I'm going to vacation, so we thought about September 5th, and the start date.
So at present, you're calling the elderly service,
Yes.
you work with them. And how long have you, about 2015, right? Your resume here, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. How about computer experience and software?
I have a great computer experience. I'm actually expert in Excel. I'm not sure what type of software you're using, but I'm also have a great experience with different types of accounting softwares as well as payroll softwares and different types. Currently, we have also a Commonwealth of Massachusetts state system that we're using for different types of records, customer records. So I would say I do have an extensive experience.
And where do you live?
I live in Stoughton.
Okay, so you're close by, you're not,
Yes.
okay. And as you know, the way the roads are, it takes you a long time to get down even from Stoughton.
Well, that's not much further than Brockton. So.
Yeah, I know, okay. I have no other questions, thank you.
Okay. Anthony?
What made you want to switch to municipal government?
So I have been interested for a while in municipal world per se, because I believe that this type of position really will bring me face to face with the public, and I would be able to have really face to face interaction, which currently I do enjoy my position, but unfortunately I don't have as much opportunity to talk face to face with our customers.
Having read the job description, I'm sure that David's gone over the responsibilities with you. Where do you think you'll be lacking? Where will you need the most assistance to get up to speed?
I believe one maybe area that I would really like to learn, and maybe I will be lacking experience, is really learning the Massachusetts laws and requirements.
Okay. Do you have an understanding of Proposition 2.5 and levy limits, that sort of thing?
Just a little in general, but not the specifics.
Okay. That's all I have right now.
Okay. Gina, if I were to look at a performance review, I don't know if your supervisor does a performance review, but if they did, what are they going to tell you is your really strong points? What do you do really well?
I think some of my really strong points, that's actually, many of my managers were brought up, is really my multitasking ability, accountability. Really, I'm always striving for the teamwork, so I'm great in bringing the teams together in order to do, different types of projects or resolutions of different problems. And another strong point is I would say that my really efficiencies, because I'm great in finding efficiencies in different, more manual processes. So I would say that this would be my strong points.
All right. Of course, on that same performance review, they're going to tell you need to do something better or some area you lack in. What would that be?
I would say that maybe because I'm not, originally from United States, I have some accent and maybe some communications problems. I mean, my written skills are great, but sometimes, especially maybe when I'm nervous, I'm forgetting the words. So that's, I would say, my couple of, my weak points.
Very good. Does the board have any other questions?
I have none.
No? David, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
Okay. Very good. Well, we thank you for coming in, and
Thank you very
someone
much.
from the office will be contacting you shortly. Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. David, if you give us a little background on the work that was done before we got here. First of all, I'd like to thank John Duggan, who's been instrumental in helping out with going through all the applications and the pre-interviews and the pre-screenings of applicants. So a big thank you to John Duggan, who's also still putting in, even though he's retired, numerous hours helping out. And we thank John. He still shows his love for the community. So thank you, John Duggan. And if you want to give us a little background on the amount of applicants and whatnot that
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So, Mr. Chairman, you're absolutely correct. A big thank you to John Duggan because he was instrumental in the process. As you know, unfortunately, John decided to retire earlier in the month of July. And at that point, we then posted for the position in multiple places. We received in about 70 applications. Mallory is to be really commended because she's the one that took all the applications in, put them all in one single format, and then the screening committee, which was originally her, Sarah Smith, the business manager from the school, and Jerry Scrunchy from the finance committee, were to then review it, and then they were tasked with, from this board, to bring it down to 3 to 4 candidates. In full disclosure, Jerry Scrunchy was unable to actually make those meetings, so it turned out to be Sarah and Mallory with the assistance of John Duggan. They ended up meeting with 4 candidates. They ended up meeting with 12 candidates, interviewed all 12 of them face-to-face, and pared those 12 down to 4 candidates that were to be interviewed this evening. 2 days ago, I met with all 4, went over their qualifications, made sure that they understood what we were looking at and the culture is from this town, and went over exactly what the expectations would be. One candidate withdrew from salary concerns. Another candidate withdrew earlier this evening, and that left us with the 2 candidates that you interviewed tonight.
Very good. Does the board have any questions for David about the pre-process?
Nope.
Okay, David, do you have a recommendation?
I do. So again, this is, to quote, I'll read the following. After receiving 70 applications, I would like to say thank you to Sarah Smith, John Duggan, and Mallory Ehrenstein. And I already went over exactly as to why. The letter will actually specify as to what they did. The committee did a great job in their selections, and I interviewed all 4 of the screening committee recommended candidates. 2 ultimately dropped out, as I said earlier, leaving Scott and Regina as finalists for tonight. I found Regina to be bright, energetic, and it's obvious she has an exemplary work ethic. All of her references checked out very well. She would be a great hire for us or any organization. But after looking at all the facts, Scott has become the obvious choice in my recommendation. He knows the office. He knows specifically how West Bridgewater operates. He knows all of our software. And he has been working in the Treasurer Collector's office for 6 years. We also all extremely value John Duggan's opinion, and Scott comes with the highest of endorsements from John. As such, I respectfully recommend Scott Golder become the town's next Treasurer Collector.
Thank you. Board have any questions?
No, I'll make a motion that we go along with Scott. I think he would be a great choice.
I'll second that, although I was really impressed with Regina's resume and experience. I think that with the situation that we're in with John already gone, that we need someone who's more up to speed on the way that the town operates.
I'll echo that, Anthony, because I think her resume is very impressive and her experience is very impressive. Unfortunately, it lacks the municipal knowledge and municipal experience. I know one of the finalists did have some good municipal experience. Unfortunately, he dropped out. Scott does have great knowledge of the office, and again, John Duggan's working hand in hand with all the staff down there to make sure it's a successful transition. It's unfortunate, but I think we're going to get a good candidate with Scott. Okay, so I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? David, have all the candidates, all the applicants been informed?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, that is it for open session. I'd like to entertain a motion to enter.
I'm so sorry. If I could ask you to amend that vote just to appoint Scott Golder subject to contract negotiations.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, okay, like that.
Do I have a second for the amendment?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session, not to return to open session for the purpose of conducting strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically with the police lieutenant and treasurer collector. Roll call vote.
Marrero, yes.
Can yes.
Lawrence, yes. Good night, and thank you for watching.